routine, to do it anywhere from every 8 weeks to maybe like once a quarter, or before, you know, a week before an event, something like that. So now we're going to start with our beta extraction step. This is going to be a salicylic blend, a little bit of willow bark extract in there for really good deep cleaning. The suction is turned up because pretty much what I've done in the first 2 previous steps was just soften all of those impactions in the skin. Now they're going to just kind of slide out like butter. It's my favorite part.
So someone did ask if the suction was sucking out all the gunk, and that's what you were just saying, right? And then let's see, they said for how long after is the skin kind of like irritated and red?
So anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour is normal for most patients. And again, we're not going as deep as like a microneedling. It's very superficial, about 0.5 millimeters under the skin. So that's just in your epidermis, that top layer of the skin. So you're probably like a pinch more red than you would be with a normal HydraFacial. And then yeah, maybe 30 minutes to an hour at most. But like I said, you can go about all your normal skincare. There's no like downtime. You don't have to adjust your lifestyle or routine at all for this facial.
And then they asked, is there numbing used?
Yeah, so you can choose. Miss Whitney here is some tough stuff, and she usually doesn't numb, so you won't see me numb her. But yes, we do use a regular topical if you request it or if you want it. We'd be more than happy to do that.
Perfect. And then they said, is this better for dry or oily skin?
Really, both patients are really great candidates for this. Like I said, the HydraFacial has some exfoliation in there that's going to help. If you have oily skin and congestion, it's really great for it. And if you have dry skin, it's just enough exfoliation to get that dead skin off, and then we kind of come back with some moisture. To that, the moisture that's included in the HydraFacial is a hyaluronic acid, which draws in a lot of water to the skin. So if you are oily and congested, that's the perfect kind of hydration for you. That's the kind of hydration that you're going to want.
And then, let's see, we're getting some more. Does this help with acne scarring?
So that's a great question. I'm so glad you brought that up. So acne scarring is going to require a few different services, but the microneedling does not get down to the dermis where you need that work done for the acne scarring. You're going to want to look at microneedling treatments, Morpheus 8, things like that are all going to help with your acne scarring. If you're out there with some acne scarring, we will be doing some demos of those services later on today. But I would say if you're out there with some acne scarring, there is no like straightforward acne scarring patient. So those are the areas that we would guide you in, that medical microneedling, that Morpheus 8 style type service for that. But definitely come in and talk to one of us about it. Because it might be a multi-treatment approach for you. Sometimes we got to clear the acne first, make sure that's good. So definitely come in and get a good consultation, because there's probably a couple things that we'll do to treat.
And then how often is this recommended? Like how long in between should you wait? How many treatments should you get?
Sure. Okay. So this is a treatment that you can do all year long. And you can do them about every 4 to 6 weeks. So no sooner than 4 weeks. And if you wanted to just do one like once a quarter to kind of mix into your regular facial routine, you can absolutely do that. I have several patients that this is the only facial that they do, and they do it every 4 weeks, and it's awesome. So this is definitely something, like I said, every 4 to 6 weeks you can do on a regular basis. Or if you're feeling like you already have a pretty set facial and skincare routine and you just kind of want to step it up a little bit and kind of do these like every other, once a quarter, that's something that you can do too. So we can really customize it and make it good for you. But like I said, I have patients that do this every 4 weeks. I have some that do it, once a quarter, every 8 weeks, something like that.
Can you do it while you're breastfeeding?
That's a great question. So with some certain modifications, like no numbing, we won't do the peel that's included and things like that. You can do this facial. Now the no numbing, since we are pretty shallow, it's not really that big of an issue. It's really darn easy to get through. Most of us here do it without numbing. I have a lot of patients that do it without numbing. So I think that I think that's a very easy thing to do if you're breastfeeding and you want to eliminate that step.
Can you do this if you have active acne, and can you do this if you have rosacea?
That's a great question. So, kind of depending on the case, active acne, I would just avoid it. Like, I would just go around your active acne. It's great for the HydraFacial portion to really clean up. Like, so I would extract you and things like that. I'm going to start doing the microneedling here on Miss Whitney while I'm talking to y'all. So I'm going to start right here on her cheek. I just put a little bit of Hyalus on her. Sometimes we'll use like some Biogel, a little chilly wet. Sometimes we'll use some Biogel and things like that, but she's a little bit more on the dry side, so I'm just going to put some of the Hyalus on her from Neocutis. So again, active acne, we would go and I would clear that up. So we're just going to start right here. As you can see, Whitney's not numbed at all, and she is not even bothered by this. She'll probably fall asleep here in a minute. So active acne, absolutely, I would just avoid it. Rosacea, so that's a really great question. It kind of depends on the severity of the rosacea. If you have got a lot of distended capillaries, a lot of stuff like that, then we might avoid it. Even though we don't go deep enough to kind of mess with it, it just might be better avoided, and other treatments might be really great for you. If you're just kind of flushed, or you get flushed but you don't have a ton of like distended capillaries, then I think that this is okay for you to do.
And you had mentioned that there's a peel in this treatment.
Yeah.
What is the peel?
So the peel comes from the HydraFacial. It's a glycolic salicylic blend. It's a 7.5%. We can customize that as well. It can go all the way up to like a 30%, which feels like more like a real peel. But the one that we typically use with a Hydraneedle is a little bit lighter. It's just enough to give you a nice little glow. Usually not even enough to like cause shedding or flaking or anything like that.
And does this interact with any fillers or injectables that people might already have?
Great question. No, I don't go deep enough to interact with fillers, Botox, anything like that. This stays pretty superficial in the skin. Like you can see Miss Whitney here, she's getting flushed, but we're not really getting any pinpoint bleeding or anything like that like we would see in a regular microneedle. So that's why it doesn't really interact with fillers, Botox, or anything like that.
And then people were asking, can you do it with other treatments? Do you need to wait? Is there any treatments you can do the same day, before, or immediately after? Can you do it if you just had an IPL?
Absolutely. Okay, so those are all great questions. So if you do this facial first, you can go do your Botox and your fillers directly after this facial. We can't do it before because we don't want to be pressing on you with your Botox and things like that. No pressure. We don't want pressure on you. So you can do this facial literally right before, go walk into our nurse's room and get treated with some Botox and filler. So you can do all that on the same day. I have patients that do that all the time. Then for IPLs, I do want you to wait about at least 2 weeks, probably like 3 to 4. But in some cases you can do 2 weeks in between. Because I would want, or you want to have some really nice, good, healthy skin before you walk into that IPL. You want to make sure that you're not flushed or anything like that. So IPLs, like give it a solid 2 to 3 weeks, you know, in between. Like, so if you get your IPL first, wait 2 to 3 weeks to do your Hydraneedle. If you just did a Hydraneedle, wait 2 to 3 weeks to get your IPL.
And then someone said, is this the skin pen? We
So-
might need to just update everybody on what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, okay. So I'm doing our Hydraneedle. Hydraneedle is a, it's a, let's see, I came up with a protocol here, but it's kind of been exclusive to Nyack Plastic Surgery for a little bit. It's our own protocol. So pretty much what we do is we give you a full HydraFacial, and in the middle of it, we're doing what I like to call a mini microneedle. So the mini microneedle, kind of what that is it's just about 0.5 millimeters under the skin. So we're just treating the epidermis. So that means not a lot of downtime. We still get a little bit of that collagen stimulation. It's a super lifestyle friendly facial that's going to deliver you really deep cleansing, some good hydration, It's going to do some exfoliation with some peels and things like that. And we're going to get a little bit of that collagen and anti-aging stimulation going with that microneedle, that mini microneedle in there. So that is what I'm doing today.
And then a couple people said, how many days prior to a big event should I do this? Or how many down days do you need after treatment? They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay, so we do say this is a no downtime service. So you don't have to change your lifestyle for this service. You don't have to worry about like products that you use whenever, you know, like changing anything up like that. So we do say this is technically a no downtime service. However, as you can see from Miss Whitney, just the suction of the microneedle and a little bit, the suction of the HydraFacial and a little bit of that microneedle is making you a little flushed. I'm going to start right here with. So it's going to make you a little flushed. So you're going to get that flushness on average for about a half hour, 30 minutes to an hour after your facial. Most of my patients, all of them, go to work the next day. For big events that you really care about, I'd say give it at least 48 hours, you know, a little bit more, couple days. But as far as your regular life stuff goes, no downtime. You'll go to work the next day. You can go to a party the next day. You know, you're totally fine.
Can you be exposed to the sun after treatment?
So after any facial or any treatment that we do here, we don't really recommend sun exposure in general, right? But I would say that, you know, you don't have to like go hide in your house from the sun or anything like that. You can, as long as you're wearing at least a 30 to 50 SPF, if you're going to be in the sun for like prolonged periods of time, like make sure you're wearing a hat and stuff like that. You know, I don't recommend you going and getting your facial and then go lay out in the pool like later on that day. But you can do your regular normal stuff. There's no very strict like you can't be in the sun type thing. So just like our regular facial requirements, you know, nothing too crazy in the sun, but you don't have to hide from it.
Awesome. So then what else do you have left to do? We're nearing the end of our live video. If any of your live questions were not answered, we're going to be saving these videos and uploading them so you can watch them at a later date. And hopefully Brittany answered your question at some point. Otherwise, DM us. But the best way to get in touch with us if you have questions right now is to text us at 314-991-5438. We have a ton of people on hand to answer all of your text messages on a very fast. We're all working really hard to answer your questions. Okay, so I'll give it back to you, Brittany.
Yeah, so I'm finishing up with Miss Whitney here for today. I'm right now infusing our Derma Builder. That's some amino acids that are going to help her make some collagen and elastin. Since I've just done the little mini microneedle, this is penetrating really, really well. It's going to help her just kind of with that whole entire collagen formation process that's going on. Then I'm going to do, after this step, I'm going to do the hydration step. So a little bit of that hyaluronic acid is going to get infused as well as some vitamins A, C, and E. So some antioxidants are going to get infused. You won't see it today, but after this, we would usually do like a nice little mask massage and finish up the service. So that, like, again, before we cleanse, before you saw us, and then we'll mask and kind of massage and let Miss Winnie have some relaxation before she goes and answers all your questions for the rest of the day. So this is our last step here. This is the hydration step. Some hyaluronic acid is getting infused. Again, it's really getting in there because we've just created so many pathways with that mini microneedle to really penetrate down in that skin and do what it needs to do. You can kind of get an idea of the redness here that you guys were asking about. You can see Miss Whitney's a little flushed. It's not too much more than what I think is from a regular HydraFacial though. So this service, like I said, it's a really huge bang for your buck service. You get the anti-aging, the hydration, the deep cleansing, all of that with almost no downtime. You can go to work the next day. You can go, you know, to do your regular errands after this. Pick up your kids from school later. No one's going to know that you did anything. then we'll go give Miss Whitney a little relaxing massage here, get her some SPF on and things like that, make sure she's nice and protected for the rest of the day. But I know you guys have some other stuff to see. So thank you all for tuning in. Loved hanging out with you guys today. Great questions. If you need anything else, let me know, okay? All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.